What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is the Rapple. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Ra. Well, he's on the account FlixFlux, but by now we know that this is Chemo. This is Chemo's rank 2 account. Chemo is obviously his rank 1 account, you see. Chemo has a bit more fun on this account. I think on his actual main, he's only playing Hades, and now on this account, he's playing more Ra and more Uranus and some other gods, and yet he's still sitting at the top of the ladder, which just goes to show how strong of a player he is. He does find himself the Dwarven Calipers. This is such a strong relic. I think this is a super underrated relic. Gives yourself minus 20% siege gold wood cost. We'll see how this game's going to go. We do see Chemo opening up with something very, very bizarre. I'm surprised to see him do this because he's got a Rhino over here. This Rhino is 500 food. Doesn't necessarily need to get himself hunting dogs, but he's going for his scout with the Pharaoh, and he will be seeing the giraffe here. Now, there's only 3 giraffe on that position. This is a fairly low hunt map after all is said and done, but a decent amount of hunt nonetheless with the Rhino and 7 giraffe. But it looks like Chemo at this point, he's going for a husbandry build. This is a bit of a dated build. This one goes back many, many, many years. And effectively the idea with it is instead of hunting, you're going to find yourself some herdables, and you're going to be looking for a very, very nice, like efficient villager walking time build order. So idea being that your villagers eat the chicken, and then they eat the herdables, and they farm. So they don't need to run around. You don't have any waste where that's concerned. However, Chemo at this point, he did not find himself the herdables. He barely missed them on this position. And were there some other ones elsewhere? Yes, and he barely missed them over here as well. Chemo is absolutely right. There are always going to be goats on this map. But you got to scout around to find them. Meanwhile, checking out Rapple's perspective over here, he has found some goats himself. He's also great hunted his goats. He's got the rhinos in his main base. I'm interested to see what sort of strategy Rapple's going to go for here, because I'm not going to lie, I find playing Odin, playing Norse against Ra quite difficult. We do see a forward temple coming up here for Rapple, getting very, very aggressive here. Now, the one bonus of playing Chemo's Ra is you kind of know, in a way, what Chemo's going to do before he does it. You kind of know that Chemo's probably not going to go Bast. Bast is a fairly rare occurrence for Chemo. So you kind of know he's going for the... you kind of know he's going to be going for the fast 2 town center fast tar build order, and if it doesn't work, he's going to be attempting to beat you down in the late game and all the other good stuff. So we'll see what the plan is here for Rapple with his forward temple, and if he wants to be very, very aggressive. We do see that Chemo, unfortunately or fortunately, is going to have to eat this Rhino. Now, without hunting dogs, the Rhino, I think it only really gathers slightly faster than a husbandry herdable. So I don't even, is it much? Let me have a look. Herdables is 0.65, hunt is 0.76. So 10% of 0.65 is looking like 0.72 something or rather, 0.72. So it's like, I don't even know. I don't actually think that it's enough of a boost to be any different. I think that the husbandry, I don't know this for certain, but I think that a husbandry herdable and a rhino gather at the same rate. Could be wrong. Might be slightly different, but nonetheless, something to be interested in. As we see Heimdall coming through here for Rapple, not going through that stock standard Freya, and he's going to be getting the advantage with that one to a big degree, because look at this forward gold mine here for Chemo. He's got that tower here as well, and this Heimdall is going to be very, very difficult to defend. The Rhino over here also going to get pushed off of. The villagers can obviously turn around and shank down. Apparently, from a proper gentleman, husbandry herdable is faster than no hunting dogs hunt. I'm going to need to confirm that one. Because I don't know if I can believe that. Just given that the base, it doesn't make any sense. The base stats are that doesn't make sense. That doesn't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. We're not gonna stand behind that until we 100% know. And I'll show you how you work it out mathematically after this game, unless I forget. And if I do forget, then let me know in the comments, because that's how we go. And remind me, Twitch chat. Husbandry gives 20%? Does it? I thought it was 10%. Oh, it gives 20%. I'm an idiot. It gives 20%, ladies and gentlemen. So it goes up to, well, it's still pretty close, actually.
You need to.
It's still pretty close, because 0.65 times 20% is still only looking at 0.78 at that point. So it's only a touch faster. So it might not be enough to reduce a animation cycle, so to speak. So I think it's pretty close. As the Einherjar going to be attempting to take down this watchtower. With the Pharaoh and the Priest out, you have to sacrifice quite a bit to stop those Priests and Pharaoh taking that Einherjar down. As Rappel going to be retreating back, he does have a couple of units out. Chemo at this point here, houses going down all over here. No town center just yet. A barracks coming down. We'll see how this is going to go. Generally speaking, the classical fight of Egyptian and the strength in the classical fight of the Egyptian is the amount of units you can get out as fast as they can get out. The speed at which you can get units out is the advantage of the classical fight. And if you are building a barracks in 6 minutes, you aren't getting those up very quickly at all, as we do see Chemo utilizing that shifting sands there, attempting to push Rappel off that position. As we do see the Einherjar coming back in, that's going to get sniped down there. Nice play from Chemo. Rappel trying to take down this back tower here as well, trying to open up this back location, but he's losing a lot of units to this. There's a very simple retreat path out here, but Rappel decides against that, losing a lot of units there to that shifting sands, where I don't think he otherwise probably should have. Meanwhile, more units pumping out here. 700 to 600 score. Looking still very, very good for Chemo on the defense here. Chemo is known as one of the best defenders in the game, with similarity to to Nullus as well. Both these players incredibly good defenders, incredibly good late game players. As we finally see that that undermine coming down a little bit late there, he possibly could have killed the tower and delayed that barracks. But in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised to see Chemo attempting to get to the heroic edge. You do see the Raven over on this position spotting the gold mine there, but Rappel, he's going to have to send raiding cavalry around to the bottom and throw an axeman to attempt to stop this gold mine on the front here. Meanwhile, over on this position as well, we do have the Raven checking this gold mine out as well, as Chemo getting some houses up, more barracks coming down. Still no units coming out here for Chemo, as he's gotten his farms down, but he's in a very, very difficult position here.
You need to.
As the raiding cavalry do spot a villager here. Does he have the upgrade? No upgrade. No skin of the rhino just yet. One villager going to be going down. The villager's retreating off of the gold mine for the time being. I'm not sure Rappel's going to get another villager kill here, even if he can path block. Yeah, he's not going to get it. So the villager could... Oh, he might. I mean...
You need to.
I think it's a bit risky to keep going, and he does go for that tower there. So Rappel retreats back. Nice play, as we do see now the sentry tower is coming up, but guess what? These aren't your average sentry tower, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Heimdall watchtower here with safeguard there. That makes these really cheap. 150 wood, 75. 150 wood, 75 gold there. As Rappel here, he's getting himself watchtowers. It takes about 20 seconds for that to come through. The villagers will get pushed off of this gold mine moving forward, as we do see some axemen coming through here. Rappel's got to put some buildings around this, because Chemo at this point, he can bum rush this down. He's got 11 villagers here. Obviously, Rappel or Chemo here, he should be concerned with probably getting himself the upgrade skin of the rhino before he does that. But we do see a house coming down. That's going to be causing some problems here, as the villagers pulling off of this location. One villager might go down to the tower. Not quite going down, as now the army going to be making its way down. A couple of Wadgets are out. This is the scary part about playing against Chemo's Ra, especially doing Heimdall rushes and stuff like that, is that these Wadgets are really, really tough to kill. We see another tower coming up on this position, potentially some more houses or something for Rappel to block around this location. Wouldn't go astray. We do see some walls coming up over here as well. Those are Heimdall walls at 1,260 HP. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a lot of wall on that position there to stop that. We've also got the houses around this gold mine as Rappel is going for a complete gold starve. We do see the rain coming through here as Chemo at this point. He's got to be a little bit concerned about towers coming up on this position to block him off of this gold mine. But at this point, 71 population. Rappel's at 86 population. He did invest quite a bit into safeguard and watchtowers and those towers. So any sort of resource advantage that he's got has not really converted into the units just yet. So he's got to be careful about the fight that he wants to take here. And he needs to somehow get his Hersir onto those Wadgets to win these fights. So Chemo at this point does manage to survive. He is pumping out units, still making Spearmen out, getting himself the upgrades for the Spearmen. We do see an armory coming down on the back where that's concerned. Throwing Axeman going to be pushing forward as the raiding cavalry attempting to swing around the back here and cut the army retreat off at this point as the raiding cavalry searching around. Can he get onto that Pharaoh? He wants to, because that Einhjar is so valuable here and will die so incredibly fast to the Pharaoh. The raiding cavalry here do manage to get a whole bunch of damage done onto that one there as the Pharaoh does end up falling. The special attack comes through there of that Einhjar, boosting these Odin units up. Can Chemo hold on this one, as we do see the Hersir have managed to get onto the back of those Wadgets there. The Axemen aren't in position to slow that one down. The Wadgets do end up falling there. So too does the Einhjar fall as the classical army of Chemo getting absolutely mopped up in this fight. And now Rappel can start thinking about putting his own tower down onto this location if he so chooses, as Chemo turns back and Rappel needs to retreat here at this point. Rappel with 0 gold at the moment is now onto a second gold mine over here. How are the upgrades? No upgrades whatsoever for Rappel. He definitely needs to think about that. He is getting that pickaxe out now, though, as he's realizing that's what's important here. As the Spearman moving forward, Rappel has got no concerns with taking this fight. I don't know why he's retreating. He's got himself 12 throwing axe when they do really, really good against those Spearmen, but he's taking his time. He wants to get up a tower here, I reckon, at this point. He's got himself the resources to do so here as he moves forward, getting sniping a low HP villager there. Great play from Rappel as Chemo's starting to get himself out this army. If we take a look at Chemo's perspective here, he's getting himself Skin of the Rhino. He's got himself 9 favor, not enough for another Wadget here. He's getting himself up to full population. A town center on the back coming up here as well, as a tower attempts to come down for Rappel, but Rappel retreating back for the time being. He's at 90 population here, as the tower getting dropped a little bit out of line of sight here of Chemo, but not quite managing to make that work there as the army getting dragged out. This is a bit of a bait to some degree, because if the raiding cavalry can prevent the retreat path here, it's going to be tough for Chemo to make it work. But Rappel here, has he done the damage? That's the question. As he gets pushed back, this longhouse is going to be getting taken down. We do see the army coming through. Rappel still not at full population here. Probably not a great idea to take a underpopulated fight, as we do see the Thrown Axeman sniping one Spearman very, very quickly as the units retreating away from here. The Slingers are going to be doing a lot of damage, though, onto those Thrown Axemen as Rappel retreats back here. And we'll see how it's going to go, as now Chemo, 2 town centers, 120 population, missing 1 house over here, as we do see the Axemen getting sniped down nicely here on this fight, as they do get pulled back. And Rappel here needs to be a little bit careful taking on the Slingers. He does decide to just take out those Axemen and call it a day, as the Slingers or Spearmen over here get absolutely massacred on that fight with the assistance of that watchtower there as well. As Rappel over here, a couple of decisions to come in here for Rappel. He's still eating Hunt on the map. He's still pumping units out. But the decisions to make here is, does Rappel grab a second town center, or does Rappel go for a heroic age here with an attempt to just push Chemo out of this game with a timing attack rather than trying to stay level on the economy here? That's the big question to ask after all is said and done. We'll see if that's what's going to happen. It's now the Aini are slowly starting to wander forward and take this fight as another Pharaoh is out, but Chemo not taking good care of that Pharaoh there. Gets half HP as the raiding cavalry trying to sneak in front of that Pharaoh. Good micro here from Chemo to pull that one there, but it looks like too little too late. The Pharaoh does end up falling there. Poor control of that Pharaoh is always going to be the hardest part, or control of the Pharaoh is always going to be the hardest part of being an Egyptian player in these kinds of fights, as the Aini are a huge front line now created for Rapple as he's now pushing forward. We see a watchtower coming down onto this position, going to be attempting to push off of that gold mine here, as well as the villagers coming through. The Slinger's going to be getting some good damage onto those throwing action, but those Aini are just help out so obscenely much. I like the tower here with the idea of blocking the tower with the barracks here. As the tower is now up, that's going to help out with this fight. More Aini are coming through. Rapple with 115 of 115 population. Not Axemen, but Ulfsark's coming in here to help out. No Axemen being produced by Chemo on this one, as we see a tower coming down right on top of the gold mine here. What can Chemo do is the big question. There is a gold mine up here that he could attempt to move up towards. But with the towers coming up on this position, more Aini are coming in. Those priests will be able to deal with those Aini are nicely, but Chemo, no gold in the bank here. No resources for a Wadjet here either. The Ulfsark pushing through, going to clean up the rest of those units. He does have to migrate around the base here to get here, but there's a great... it's a great open position for him to just run around there. No problems where that's concerned. As the unit's still pushing forward, the villagers turning around, trying to take this fight. As a Wadjet does come through here for Chemo to help out in this fight. We'll be able to snipe down. Look at that damage there. So much damage on the Aini. Does manage to finish that one up there, but no gold income remaining as the villagers swinging up to this position. He sees the walls here. Rapple at this point doesn't have any units up here. He's running out of economy. Well, not out of economy, but out of population here, as he does have to retreat back, and he needs to repurpose himself down to the bottom side of the map here as Chemo. He wants this location. The wall will get broken down. No other buildings up on this position. There's a world where a cheeky tower in on this position here could prevent this gold mine from going up. Maybe even like a wall over here, and a tower inside of that could be a sneaky way to play for Rapple, as well as the army slowly migrating up to the top position. I wouldn't mind seeing some walls coming down here either, with a handful of units and maybe some long houses around this tower, just to ensure that it's very, very tough for Chemo to get in there. But the villagers now getting gold here. That's going to mean some Axemen are going to be able to come in. This longhouse will get taken down. Rapple does have the towers that can get pushed in onto this position, as a town center going to be getting grabbed here for Rapple, realizing that potentially here this game is not as in his grasp as he might think. Remember, Chemo, though he has lost a lot of villagers here, he's had 2 town centers for quite some time. Taking a look at the economy, it's actually still pretty good here for Chemo. He just needs gold. So Rapple making a good decision here to just grab that town center, take his foot off the gas ever so slightly, and then continue along in this game. That being said, a heroic age here really would not go astray for Rapple with a frost onto this, taking down all the villagers and the army with that frost would be very, very valuable. But we'll see if Rapple wants to continue with the Heimdall Tower spam here, or what, as he does split up that army, pushing in onto this location. Doesn't have a great answer for those Wadjets in this fight, as Rapple pushes in on the back. He's not quite allowed the pincer. He hasn't quite managed the pincer as best as he can there, as the army drags. He's trying to just maneuver the Chemo army here a little bit around, but he's not quite managing to make that happen, as he does decide to just push in here. Can he win this fight, though, is the big question. No Axemen here, or very few Axemen, as the one finally joins the fight here, as the Aini are still trying to push in, trying to get as much damage done as he can. But the Pharaoh cleaning those Aini up, even with Eldrimmer Einijar, which are doing so much damage. Can he make this work through that Egyptian army of Chemo? It does look like the numbers of Chemo Chemo are falling. He's down to 82 population. Ladies and gentlemen, 46 gold left in the bank as the towers are up on this position to claim that location there as well. The army still pushing through here as Rappel here with 119 population. The villagers getting pushed off of this gold mine ever so slightly. But now with the Axeman coming through, got to be very, very careful. You definitely do need to make raiding cavalry, and that's exactly what he's doing. The gold villagers have finished up on this position, unfortunately, for Rappel. How is his economy going? Does he have himself shaft mine? No shaft mine just yet. Villagers pumping out over here, can jump up onto the gold mine there. Farms now starting to slowly come through here for Rappel, as the problem, obviously, for Rappel in this position is that when the farms come down and he needs that food to come in, that's when the pressure slows down, and that's when Chemo can find himself back up to full HP or population, full population, and find himself in a defensible position here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see if that's all going to work out for Chemo. Houses coming down over here as well. Rappel in his main base spamming the farms up. Maybe third town center, fourth town center wouldn't go astray. But the problem is these Axemen coming through, and Rappel here, what is his army looking like? Too many Ulfsark. Now this means that Chemo's next fight here, if Rappel wants to take it, is going to be a win for Chemo after all is said and done, as we do see the Ulfsarks trying to sneak in the back, trying to snipe down a couple of units here, maybe sneak in and get some walls down over here. Wouldn't be a crazy bad idea. Again, like I said, sneaking in here, getting a wall up and a tower onto this gold mine wouldn't go astray. As another longhouse coming down here, is the wall going to get broken down? It takes so long to kill a Heimdall wall here, as the army pushing forward here. If we take a look at Chemo's perspective, still no next age, still very low on the gold here. How are the economic upgrades looking here? Still no shaft mine, but he's starting to eat the giraffe on this position as the villagers swinging forward here. Chemo realizes he's got the advantage at this point as Rappel pulling back here. What's the game plan? The army out of position here as Rappel is trying to pull the Ulfsark through to defend this one. Villagers retreating away from this. Armory coming down. Rappel says, all right, heroic age is the option here, as the raiding cavalry coming around trying to take out some Axemen on this position here, as Rappel, he's going to be losing this town center if he doesn't take the fight. You've got to get that town center at any point, and he does do that. Target down the Pharaoh. That's the most valuable thing you can do, as the Iron here are coming through here. Where are the rest of the units? He doesn't have that many units. Rappel is struggling for economy at this point because of that farm transition here not being that useful, but Skadi has been clicked up. Lots of idle units here. Rappel going to have to retreat back, and now Rappel can go into mass raiding cavalry. He is spamming out the throwing Axemen, not making those raiding cavalry like he needs to. But if he goes mass raiding cavalry here, he needs to get himself another town center, or he needs to get out some frost giants here. But look at this. Chemo, he is now alive and well, ladies and gentlemen. After all is said and done, this Heimdall gold cut has not been successful. Chemo is alive, and he is grabbing himself a third town center, pushing forward. He's going to be able to go to the heroic age very, very soon as well here. Rappel on the other side, he's going to attempt to get himself up this town center. He needs to get this back town center up. He does have a frost here, ladies and gentlemen, which probably needs to be utilized on this position to get the town center up, and he does decide to do so here, as the town center will come up. Rappel will go up to 130 population. He's got so much economy at this point because his economy has not been touched in the slightest, that it's just so vitally important that Rappel gets his town centers up so he can utilize that economy. Otherwise, life is going to be really, really tough for him. Chemo, on the other hand, he's going up through Sekhmet here, deciding against the Hathor here. Very surprising to see no Hathor against the Norse, but I think what Chemo realizes is that Rappel, he's got a huge economy, which means Ragnarok is going to be super, super difficult to defend against. So he wants that citadel for that defense and for that extra population. As that's the game plan here for Chemo moving forward. He knows that he's going to have to fight a Ragnarok in this game, and he knows he's not going to get any sort of a gold cut, and he is playing for the defense here in this game. As we do see, I mean, more Axemen are just pumping out here for Chemo. He knows he can go straight into Chariot Archers after the dust is settled, and he's going to be able to go Axemen, Chariot Archer, and have a very, very strong game moving forward here. There's Rappel on the back, a handful of Ulfsark getting this back town center down. Do we see a market up anywhere? No market placed just yet. There's the market there coming up on the front. As there's also another option here for Rappel, which is the gold is very, very difficult here for Chemo to grab. He doesn't need to go for Ragnarok. He can go for a Fimbulwinter here and hit the economy and just hit the foot on the gas there for a big attack forward to push Chemo off of the gold mine. We'll see if that's what's going to happen. It's now Chemo on this position. He sees the houses here. Houses go down relatively fast. 405 HP. Does have that safeguard, which is a giving... I didn't realize that. Did you guys realize that? Hang on. What does safeguard do? Safeguard gives houses extra HP. Is it just houses? And armory extra HP. Doesn't give the town center extra HP. I didn't know this. And a barracks extra HP? It gives a barracks extra HP? It's like, never mind. I'm losing my shit over new knowledge because no one ever gets this upgrade. No one ever knows anything. But Safeguard also gives your buildings extra HP, not your town center, but your buildings. Very wild. There you go. There's the house going down over here. Hillfort coming up. I'm surprised it doesn't give town centers extra HP. It should. In fact, I think that's a great buff for Heimdall if anyone were to give that. It did show on the town center, but it gives a minus 280 HP and a plus 280 HP. Meaning they basically, yeah, I don't want to get into the technical details, but they gave the buildings a bonus and then they took that away from the town center. Obviously, Safeguard too strong to be applied to town centers. Think about this. Safeguard would be Safeguard's a great counter to Fast Horus. Because you can put barracks around the town center instead of getting yourself Masons from your town center, you can get Safeguard from your tower, and that gives enough HP for your town center to survive. I'm going to start going Heimdall every time against Rana. That's the answer. There you go. There you go. We do see the Scarab coming through, cleaning up these towers here. Going to be getting those gold mines back. Chemo's now fully spread out. He's going to be going Mythic Age here very, very shortly here. Rappel will be hitting that. Mythic Age very, very soon through tier. He's getting himself up the hill forts. Obviously wants to go into those ballistas to push through these buildings and maybe even break through this town center here. As the Chariot Archers getting cleaned up. One thing that Rappel should be concerned about here is that his walls that he's placed down have been broken down. He needs more walls up. This is probably the biggest weakness of Rappel. He's got so many strengths in his gameplay, but the biggest weakness in Rappel's gameplay is the walls. Just devoting one Ulfsark up here to claim this position here, claim this position here, and just wall up the entirety of the map. Just 2 population getting devoted into walls throughout the game would allow him to just never find himself in bad positions, but it can be tough to just make that decision to do that rather than having that population on the offensive, as we do see the Chariot Archers coming back in here. Chemo's going to be annoying with this in an attempt to take out the Oxcart, but one heavy Oxcart back here will be enough to deal with this, and obviously the help of that heavy Ulfsark is going to be there as well. As Chemo here, he is going through Osiris. He's very low on the population here after that Fimbulwinter. It did a lot of damage there as the units trying to push through here. Is Rappel making any siege? No siege coming out, just Huskarl Jarls for the time being as this town center is getting targeted down. Throwing Axeman, not the best to take out a town center, unfortunately. The Frost Giant and the Iron here, however, are pretty good. Both have got that crush damage. Just a little bit of it is going to be a good help there. Big help. There's Rappel tons of economy in the bank here. He's starting to get himself armory upgrades. No, not just yet. He has pushed through onto the bottom here as we do see the Son of Osiris coming in here for Chemo. And really the only answer, the only decent answer that you have against the Son of Osiris as Norse, well, there's two, but one is significantly better than the other one, is mass cavalry to surround the Son of Osiris and kill that one off. But more importantly and better is mass Ballister to kill off that Townsend. If you get a handful of Ballister out, they're going to be able to shoot the Son of Osiris from range. But you see a beautiful hill fort coming up on the front here for Rappel with more watchtowers here as well. As Rappel at this point, a little bit struggling for economy here. There's a very, very big risk that he's taking. No trade route started, no attempt at a trade route. He's got a couple of gold mines remaining, but these ones are going to be expiring. He needs to secure this gold mine here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the big, important one to secure there. As now the Ballister are out, towers coming up. The Son of Osiris has got to be very, very careful. 299 HP remaining. They probably don't want to overdo it on the Ballister is the only thing. Just at this stage of the game, just a handful, and I think that's what Rappel is doing. He's only got a handful of Ballister out here, not overdoing it in the slightest as the Scarabs do come through to clean up this hill fort here. As we see a couple of towers coming through here as well. The Ballister moving forward here can start taking out that Son of Osiris. As we do see that's exactly what's happening. You look at the damage that comes. Okay, he's not. He's taking down the mummy. All right, never mind. Sooner or later, we'll see the 30 range Ballister taking out a Son of Osiris here. As the Ballister do retreat back. If they do get hit by Chain Lightning, though, they go down very, very fast. Is the Frost Giant going to come through here to try and deal with that Scarab? And now the Ballister push forward. And look at the damage coming in onto that Son of Osiris. 290 HP. Now starting to go down 260 HP. Every single one of those volleys is a huge amount of damage there. And Chemo does notice that, pulling back there as well as the villagers getting taken down on this position as Rappel does clean that one up. Still no walls up on this position as the Chariot Archers, handful of Chariot Archers, might not seem like it's a big deal, but it actually is. Look at Rappel's gold. He's got very little gold in the bank as it does come up quite quickly there after a bit of a dumpage, it seems, but very little gold there as we do see the trade route starting to get taken down. Towers coming down onto this position as the Ulfsark trying to get those there as well. There's more units piling in to this position. Chemo here. How's his economy looking? 140 population, slowly but surely getting up to 170 here as well. As the Ballister are all taken down, which means Rappel going to have to retreat ever so slightly. Luckily for Rappel, no siege in this army just yet. As the Ulfsark's trying to get these towers up, they will be able to pick off those villages very, very quickly. I mean, a wall here first wouldn't have gone astray, but picking off these villages is not a bad thing either. Look at the tower. It just doesn't really take damage even to those villages, even though their villages are doing true damage there. As that tower will get up. And that's going to put a bit of a dent in the trade route, I think, of Chemo. As Rappel does lose his Ox card over there to that two Chariot Archer raid. As Rappel here, 157, 140 HP, loses some houses around the map here. I think has to get those back up. As we see an armory over here, get some more armory upgrades. He's still sitting at 160 population, so it's not that big of a deal, or 155 population, but he does need to get both the houses up. As the villagers pulling off of this location, Ulfsark coming up into the corner, and the trade, or the Chariot Archer raids, still commencing here as the villagers coming through here to cause some problems. There's a Scarab going to come over and clean up these buildings. And this is why, I think this is actually the reason why Chemo's gone for Sekhmet here. It's not for the Citadel, though the Citadel is great. It's not because he was concerned with the Ragnarok, but obviously that Citadel helps with the Ragnarok, the Axemen help with the Ragnarok and everything else. It's actually because the Scarab is able to deal with these really, really pesky side builds, which are really tough to deal with as Egyptian if you don't have this unit. So this is a great idea here from Chemo to deal with those side builds coming through as the Chariot Archers come in. Ulfsark is in position to drop this market when he wants to start a trade route. He does have this gold mine up here with 2,800 gold. There is a gold mine over here, but there's a Migdol stronghold on it. The villagers over here does want to push those off as we do see Frost Giant coming over here to deal with this. As we do see the Scarab getting stopped as the watchtowers coming down. Units still pushing through here for Rapple as he is just trying to deal as much pressure as he possibly can to Chemo to force him out of this game. The thing is here for Chemo is look at his economy. He's got full population now, but armory upgrades, they're not there. Champion Ulfsark are in. Nearly full copper coming through, still not getting those upgrades there as the economy seems to be struggling a little bit here. Does have himself Winter Harvest and the Flood Control, I think. Yeah. One thing you probably should concern yourself with is these farms around the side, especially these farms this far away. It's worth it to just take those villages off and put the farms over here and just sack the extra 75 wood. You're going to get that wood back in spades when you've got fully upgraded units or villages. But obviously Rappa doesn't have the resources at the moment, spamming stuff out all over the map. But obviously that's a bit of a thing with the farms being hyper inefficient there as well. As in the corner, we do see a Chariot Archer coming through, checking out the trade route there. Like I said, you've got to get those walls up at some point. Now, you can put the market down and then get the walls up, but you definitely just need get a wall here. Every single one of these forests is a wallable piece of terrain, which is going to really hinder your opponent. This is the late game thing that comes from playing Norse, as we do see Rapple has managed to get behind the town center. He's got himself a hill fort here, no towers up just yet, trying to wall this through. Another thing here that Rapple could get is his upgrade for the walls as well, with stone walls. Would not go astray at all, as the army's still trying to break through this position, as the Ballast are going to get taken down here, but Ballisters are continuing to get trained onto this position as the villagers coming through to empower this, or to repair this one back up here. As we do see the walls are up, the Chariot Archer searching over here. There's no trade route in this corner just yet. The Chariot's coming through onto this position. Send a Huskarl over there. Get your walls up. I mean, you can keep saying it. If Rapple loses this game, it's going to be because he didn't put walls up on the map. If we take a look at Rapple's perspective, though, look at the buildings he's got. Look at the upgrade here. Signal fires. Great upgrade. He just needs to... Well, he doesn't have this position scouted out, but he sees everything on the map as the villagers pushing forward here. A great gold mine over here for him to get, as the Oxcart still full HP, but look at the Chariot Archers. They are in hot pursuit over here. He can run into this location here to defend himself, but Rapple's going to be really, really upset with himself if he loses that Oxcart here with those Chariot Archers chasing them down. Still no walls here to defend this one. And that's exactly what Chemo is going to be going for here, as the Oxcart gets pulled back, or kind of automatically. Looks like Rapple's not really paying attention, as we do see a raiding cavalry coming through here. The trade route started up, still no walls there, just a handful of chariots causing a lot of problems here, as the Oxcart does end up going down. Is there another Oxcart en route? There is one here that can sneak down onto this position if he so chooses. As the town center still standing here, as a couple of Ballister do end up coming through onto this position here, as the units retreat back ever so slightly here. Raiding cavalry going to sneak through, could try and take out that 2 HP Pharaoh here. Wouldn't be a bad idea, as he does push in. There he goes, taking the Pharaoh down. As the wall does end up getting finished there. More Oxcarts getting trained here, as Rapple he's got 4 Oxcarts now trained up, realizing that, you know what's better than this is just having the Oxcarts out and being safe here. There's more Oxcarts getting trained up here. Still no attempt at defending the trade route, as he's dealing with these Chariot Archers nicely here. Oxcart coming over here onto this gold mine. Doing nicely there as the army pushes forward here. And Rapple's smartly pulling his Ballister behind the walls to keep them nice and safe, as the town center still staying alive. And like, somehow Chemo's still alive in this game. Somehow. It's the trade route here moving up to this location here. It's a 48 gold trade route compared to Rapple's trade route that is looking like a 75 gold trade route. It's basically the same if you empower the market, though, because you get like that 25% market trade route boost from the Pharaoh. As the Ballista now moving up onto this position as Rappel is re-orchestrating his assault on this town center. There's 3 positions to target this town center down from, and he is doing a great job of setting up on each of them here. I mean, he needs to get back over here as well, but these towers getting set up with the Ballista behind him is going to be very, very tough to defend against. With the catapult here, dealing with the towers slowly but surely. 1237 HP is a strong tower. Does he have architects? No architects. It could be a good upgrade for him to get here, as he's still not at full copper. And Chemo here still hasn't gotten a single upgrade here. Obviously, the upgrades don't affect siege, but he could definitely be utilizing those moving forward here. As the watchtowers coming in. The catapult does end up falling there as well. Chemo's town center is falling ever so slightly. 2 ballista. It takes a long time for 2 ballista to actually kill a town center, but I mean, it does do it. Doing 15 crush damage a second, plus the 9 pierce damage a second. I mean, compare that over to a catapult. You go, that's not fair. The catapult does... Is there a catapult here? I don't see one. I can't tell you. The catapult does like 50 crush damage a second, so a significant amount more. But once you get the burning pitch... I think things change. No, it doesn't change. Burning pitch doesn't really help that much. But basically, this unit is mostly for killing units. You kill buildings with portable rams or myth units, I guess, mostly. Or a ton of the ballista, obviously, is completely fine. They also have 1 population less than a catapult. So there is that as well. As the town center slowly getting down, the towers are set up. This is really, really nice here for Rappel. As the mercenary are going to come out, they're going to get sniped down so fast by these towers. They just cannot get in to take out the ballast. Another wall, like, you can put a wall like this. If I can select the wall, you can put a wall like this that goes in here, or even straight into this wall as well to protect those ballista. As it's town center slowly going down, but now with the Pharaoh empowering it, it's never going to go down. And Rappel has found himself in a similar position to what we've seen him before, where he's like, I can't kill the Egyptian town center. And Chemo, though, on the other side here, his economy is not going up. So long as this fighting continues here, Chemo is never going to be able to get a Titan out. He's never going to be able to get a Wonder out, and he's never going to be able to push out of here. Even on 3 town centers, he's just not able to make that happen. He needs to put some effort into getting a corner market or something. His economy is absolutely shot at this point in the game. How's the market going? He does have a priest empowering this one, so he is getting a slightly stronger trade route. But Rappel's got all the economy in the world. He's starting to get those armory upgrades as well. His trade route is gigantic now. He can start converting villages into Ulfsarks and pushing his population up even further if he so chooses. There's now a catapult coming through here, and I'll say it. I've said it in regards to the Petropolis, but I'll say it in regards to the Ballista as well. Just right-click on the Pharaoh. At the moment, the Pharaoh isn't actually doing anything because the villagers aren't empowering, but just right-click on the Pharaoh. As the town center does end up falling there, I do want to check this out. Does this give bonus damage for archership, gash, defeaty bonus? Doesn't give any bonus to the ballista. It gives 1 crush damage. That's it. I believe that's it. 1 crush damage. So it's really, like, Burning Pitch really doesn't give that much of a bonus. Like 3 crush damage a second of a bonus onto those ballista. Just... it's not as good as you think. People are like, it's the burning, so that means you get a bonus damage against buildings. No, they don't. It would be interesting if you were to give, a bonus of, like, say, I don't know, 50% bonus damage for the ballista against buildings, bringing that 15 up to 30, or 100%, 15 crush damage up to 30. That would be a big, big help for the ballista, in all honesty. But, I mean, arguably they aren't weak, so why would we buff them? Because he's currently pushing Chemo back. Chemo's in a very, very difficult position. He doesn't have a trade route anymore either, as the trade moving from the market up to this town center here. That's like 1 screen length, so it's like max 10, 15 gold. Not much, and also Rappel's going to eventually grab this town center, and in that moment we do see that Chemo decides to die. But look at this. This is what was about to happen. And this is the problem. If Chemo had stayed alive for a minute longer on this town center with a bit more economy and got this wall down, Rapple would have been in for a world of hurt moving forward. Rapple needs to get this idea into his gameplay, which is get your walls set up. Get your walls set up to, as Norse, protect your trade route at all costs. Because if you get, it's really hard to deal with it. Like Egyptian players can fight back for their trade route. Greek players can fight back for their trade route. Atlantean players are a little bit weak in the late game, but technically if they're playing against the Norse player, they could probably fight back for their trade route. Norse players can't, but Norse players can set up walls easier than everyone else, and they can defend their trade route better than anyone else in the game by putting up those walls, and you just have to do it early and well. The Rapple gets the win here nonetheless. Great Heimdall tower pressure here in this game. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.